Welcome in, Bears fans and fans of Most Valuable Podcast. My name is Mike Rankin. We're in the home stretch, ladies and gentlemen. Only 2 games remaining in this miserable Chicago Bears season. But you know what? Is it as miserable as the Trestman years? Because, I'm seeing some kind of progression within this Bears team. And under John Fox, got to give him credit. 3-11, they're still playing hard for him, the players are. So I'm going to talk about the Bears and Packers this week. They lost 30-27. I'm sure you all watched it. Bears-Packers is a can't miss, even when the Bears are terrible, or vice versa. Speaking of which, did you know, this is a fun fact I looked up between Bears-Packers history. Before Brett Favre, the Bears had a 28-game lead in the season series, or in the historic series, right? But then, now, we're tied. I think we're at 94 and 94 wins apiece. So that tells you over generations, the Packers had Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers over the span of 20-something years. The Bears, I could count on my entire body because I have to use my toes and my hands to count the amount of quarterbacks the freaking Bears have had over that span. But whatever, I digress. But I just want to throw it in there. So let's talk about this Bears-Packers matchup for Week 15. And it was a big one for the Packers. It looks like right now the Packers could overtake the Lions for the division in the NFC North, and it would be total Lions-y, right, if they gave up this division lead. But the Packers are on fire. Can't doubt Aaron Rodgers. Ty Montgomery, for the love of God, is running as a running back, and he looks solid. It helps that the Bears can't tackle, but he ran all over them on that field. So Montgomery was a big reason why the Packers took down the Bears this week. Also, Matt Barkley, I'm going to talk about him a little bit in this video, but I want to mention a really key spot in this ball game, and that was the 3 straight I'm not counting the Hail Mary turnover, by the way, but there were 3 straight turnovers out of the half that really hurt the Bears in this ball game, and it resulted in 17 Packers points, unanswered Packers points. There was a fumble, strip sack, then 2 straight picks. It was on 3 straight drives. That'll kill you. However, the Bears only lost by 3, and this goes in large part because of the defense. The defense kept them in. They limited Aaron Rodgers once they kind of got past the turnovers in the short field. It was really impressive. I was really pleased with the way the defense performed, especially that front 7. They were getting they were at least putting pressure on Aaron Rodgers. And the linebackers were reading different looks. They were stopping the screen game. Nick Kwiatkowski and John Timo, they're not the best options there in the inside and middle linebacker positions, but Brunell McPhee, Willie Young, those guys stepped up in a big way, especially McPhee. McPhee stood out in this ball game. On the other side of the ball, we see kind of mediocre wide receiver struggle here. Deontay Thompson, he's probably, I can't really complain about Deontay Thompson, but he's not really a starting caliber NFL wide receiver. Cameron Meredith, guys, he's awesome. I really, really enjoy watching Cameron Meredith play, and he stepped up again this week. Alshon Jeffrey wasn't involved until very late in the contest when they had that one drive where they just fed it to him the entire way. I don't know why they didn't target him. Maybe the Packers had a game plan where they double-teamed him. I don't know, but it took them long enough to get Jeffrey involved, and he's obviously a franchise caliber receiver, so that's a good thing. Josh Bellamy, he's not an NFL wide receiver. He's a good NFL player. He does a lot of good things for you on special teams, but don't rely on him in the receiving game, which the Bears are forced to do because everybody's hurt or suspended or what have you, any other, reason. But overall, this Bears team, after taking 10 steps backwards from last year at the beginning of this season, has slowly progressed themselves out of the mud here, and they look like, wow, I have some sort of optimism yet again in the Chicago Bears team. Now, they're a ways away, but there is something to be proud of at this Bears franchise, especially since there's nothing to play for. And speaking of nothing to play for, what is John Fox doing playing for the tie in that situation? You're playing the Packers at home, right? You're 3-10. You're trying to knock them out of the playoff race, and it's 4th and 4 or whatever it was on the goal line, and you're going to opt to take 3 points to send it to possibly overtime, or at least give Aaron Rodgers a chance. And look what happens. Jordy Nelson gets behind Crayvon LeBlanc, and they win. So, I like to take shots at John Fox, but he's got these players playing, and I like it. I'm impressed. I have to say that. Now on to Matt Barkley. Guys, Chicago, don't be stupid. Matt Barkley's fine, right? He deserves a chance to start for either the Bears or an NFL team that's desperate for a quarterback or that's in a transition period. But that's all he is. He's a transition guy. He's a secondary quarterback. He's a backup for a reason. He's nothing special. I don't know what it is about Chicago. And, this goes back to Kyle Orton and Rex Grossman. Chicago Bears fans are so quick to jump on the alternative option. They're so reflexive in terms of quarterback, something new. Caleb Haney, Josh McCown, Kyle Orton. I mentioned Kyle Orton a lot, but Kyle Orton was probably the best out of the three. But you can't jump ship here, guys. You can't commit to Matt Barkley. If you want to say Matt Barkley is the guy next year while the drafted quarterback gets developed, instead of having Brian Hoyer start, that's fine. I totally agree with you. Matt Barkley deserves that chance. But you can't commit to Matt Barkley, guys. Don't do it to yourselves. Why do Chicago football fans love quarterbacks who suck? I just don't get it. So, I mean, this goes back to Cutler. Like, people are so quick to jump ship from Cutler as well. But, guys, Matt Barkley isn't the answer, okay? He's not a franchise-changing quarterback. He's not the guy you want to build around. So let's make that clear. Otherwise, I can't say all the good things happened with the Bears this week. They lost, which means they still have a top 5 draft position. It'd be nice if the Jags would have held on to their lead against Texans, but Tom Savage, it's in his name. So they're still stuck at 4. The Bears are in the draft position. We'll see what happens the remainder of the season. They got the Redskins and then the Vikings to close it out. Hell, the way the Redskins and Vikings have been playing, the Bears could fall like 4 or 5 draft spots if they win this game. So let's root for a top 5 pick here still. Thank you guys as always for checking out this Bears reaction video. We have 2 more games left, and we appreciate all of you for sticking around for the ride. Become a Patreon if you haven't already. Also subscribe and like to our YouTube channel. We really do appreciate it. I'm at Rankin906. Follow us on Twitter at MostValuablePod. And as always, guys, we will see you all next time.